Hello and welcome to our weekly talk show, The Interview, and our special segment, Life and Times with HT. Vikash Mishra. Does the name ring a bell? Perhaps not. Operation Sindoor. Yes, of course. And the drones that fired missiles at Pakistani targets. So today we tell you the story of the company that is working 24/7 to make India self-reliant in the defense sector. The story of the man behind the dream, the man who has been living in his office for the last 8 years. Ask his staff and they say he must be inside one or the other machine. I'm talking about Vikash Mishra, the founder of Rifi M Fiber. To a layperson, he would best be described as a rocket and drone man who is now designing an aircraft. He shot off 300 mails to R. Chidambaram and everyone else who mattered then because he wanted an audience. R. Chidambaram, as we all know, played a crucial role in developing India's nuclear weapons. I'm a good boy, I want to study, and I need money, is what Mishra then wrote. He also thought that the best way to get a loan was to go to the Reserve Bank of India. He actually did, but could not get beyond the main reception. His father was a driver, his grandfather a man of modest means. Their dreams were small, their aspirations limited. But Vikash wanted to reach the skies, and he eventually did. We have him here with us to take us through his very interesting and challenging life in this edition of HT's weekly talk show, The Interview, in our special segment, Life and Times with HT. Welcome to the show, Mr. Vikash Mishra, if I can call you the rocket and drone man. And thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Let me begin with what is top of the mind. Your drones played a crucial role in Operation Sindoor. They fired missiles at Pakistani targets. Tell me about that and what was that feeling?
We definitely participate in a lot of ops for the country. And one of them was Ops Sindoor. And the challenges were like you have to go against the most modern electronic warfare because it was a war which we have never seen as a company, but we were, I don't know what to say, but we were fortunate enough to be able to participate in saving our country and direct participation. So we were directly involved in that, in Operation Sindoor.
So, how was it to actually your missiles to hit Pakistani targets? And what kind of a feeling did you go through and what did it mean?
Personally, it was really troubling for me.
Why do you say that?
Unpredictability. Definitely, we were really prepared. Had our seniors told us to continue, we would have shown them a really good lesson. But I think our seniors and the Prime Minister took decision to not continue for whatever reasons. So, but while that was happening, it was stressful.
It was stressful?
It was stressful.
What was the stress? That the drone may fail?
No. I personally never fear of failure. I fear of unpredictability because we don't know what is going to happen.
When you say unpredictability, What does it mean?
Ma'am, this was not even as similar as Ukraine war or Russian war or things like that. Every modern country, I don't know whether I'm supposed to take the name of the country, was supplying equipments to Pakistan which we were not aware of, right? So something which you have not prepared for. However, we were prepared for. For example, our army was like all prepared. Like you fight with them, they will teach you the lesson. Navy, Air Force, everyone was prepared. But this was a warfare which was modern. Everyone was talking about it, but it just suddenly happened. We talk about drones, then there was underground vehicles, then there are like ground vehicles, then there are like microwaves, then there are lasers. A lot of things could have been deployed that time, right? So the stress comes in to something which you, for example, let's suppose you went to an exam, right? It was your first board exam kind of thing, right? That was the kind of stress. It was a mixture of thrill, responsibility, and following the orders, whatever was coming from the above.
So, would you say this was your first board exam?
In terms of war, yes.
Because in the past, in many areas, whether it is Chhattisgarh or sensitive states like Jammu and Kashmir, you have had a role.
Yes, I can't talk about any of those, but yes.
You know, you're making drones for the armed forces. Tell me whatever you possibly and safely can about these specialized drones.
So, ma'am, let me put it in this way. Drone is a terminology which was adopted by DARPA in US, right? So everyone started calling it as a drone. So that things which flies in the marriage, shadiwala drone, agriculture drone. Drone is a very common thing, but anything which flies in our terminology, we call it as robotic aerial machine. We call ourselves as a aircraft manufacturing company. And the aircrafts which we make, they have a very special goal. We deliver payloads like whatever you want. You want, if we are happy with you, we will give you the medicines and blood and stuff like that. If you're not happy with you and you're harming our country, then we'll deliver some other stuffs to you.
In fact, I was just going to ask you what you mean by if you are happy with you or if you're not happy with you.
So if you're my friend, I'm gonna deliver you medicines, fruits, vegetables.
Otherwise, missiles.
You can take it whatever your imagination takes you to.
Otherwise, offensive.
Yes, because the goal of my life and Rafi's life is to make sure that by 2030 the defense exports should come down and we should make the best technology based products.
Your target is 2030?
For the big stuff.
Achievable?
That's what I do. I spend every femtosecond of my life here.
But tell me, why has it not, and I'm saying from the country point of view, not been achieved or done so far? Were there any gaps? Was there a gap in policy? Was there a gap in vision? What was it?
It's a very interesting question. For example, when the Prime Minister started this Make in India, Made in India, now Innovate in India, Manufacture in India, right? So the ecosystem started building up. Earlier, our businessmen, they were spending capital only on the products which were successful outside. For example, if washing machine was made there, let's bring washing machine here. If truck was made there, let's bring truck here. So innovations in other places started reaching in India. So in a good way also, I personally believe that man ka ho to acha, na ho to aur acha, which means nahi hua to koi baat nahi, abhi karenge. So now the policies are really apt. The government pushes you to do the experiments, to do the research. You would not hear that a secretary of the government of India is calling you 2 in the night that did your experiment went successful or not. That's the kind of pushing the government is doing. Where earlier this was never heard of. So the government is really pushing.
Tell me, when you say now and earlier, Which are the prime ministers or governments you're talking about?
This government definitely has a huge change. For example, you're there outside the Niti Aayog cabin of like Amitabh Kant sir, and like he's calling A, B, C, D to make sure that the startups is being helped. So it was not that they just made the policy; they were making sure that policy is being executed.
And they were partnering in
They
one
were
sense.
partnering in one. So because policy is a dynamic living thing, you can't just make a policy and go away. So if you go back to the policies earlier, there may be good policies, but was it being executed? I don't think so. In this government, I can only comment about pushing in defense research sector, which was phenomenal. There was like, we were able to induct 5 different kind of defense equipments within 2 years inside the forces, which was unheard of. So a lot of positive changes happened. I could go and work with DRDO scientists. I can go and work with DST scientists, which was not earlier possible. Any country will grow good if your government institutions, educational institutions, and private institutions are working in sync with each other. They should not be competitor of each other. Earlier times, there was a lot of competition.
And it was kind of closed door.
Yeah,
You were outsiders
yeah.
to the government institutions. Would you say that?
Yes, like it was unimaginable to get an appointment with the defense secretary of the country, right? Earlier.
Now,
Now he's there available for a lot of startups. They are available.
so the fact that your target is 2030, if governments earlier had an open door policy, this 2030, we probably could have achieved 2 decades earlier. Would you say that?
Ma'am, this is a question which I will have to do. I'm not giving a diplomatic answer. What I'm saying is like, do you know, in the history of independent India, getting a loan when there are thousands of pages, right? It is done properly in the given time by government banks like State Bank of India. They are also hand holding you. It's not only the government per se ministry, it's also the institutions of the government. Everyone has been instructed to open up, to collaborate, to participate, and do the work together.
So that you think is the basic change and an important one.
It's very important change. It's very important. We feel more proud of India than earlier.
The defense minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh, said about you and your brother, and I'll quote him: I have been in defense for some years, and I have never seen young men create such a big establishment. What does this mean to you?
He is the minister whom you can go and talk physics with because he was a physics teacher,
Okay.
right? So, when I go to talk to somebody, and if I don't have a topic to talk, I become really awkward. But with defense minister, sir, you can talk to because I can tell him that I did laser experiment and it was good. I had a banking of a tank. The hydraulic pressure was not achieved, so I did this and that. So when he visited here, he could correlate that in India, this facility is definitely in India best and the largest in terms of drone manufacturing in India. And when you look at the machines, you look at what we have created, it is as good as Lockheed Martin or General Atomics for this sector. He was feeling really proud.
In fact, he also said, and I'll quote him again, a scientific revolution in the defense sector is what he said about your setup. Just explain the scientific revolution bit to me and what it means, or was he just simply flattering you or encouraging you?
Oh, I would always take flattering and encouraging from such a leader. But no, as I told you, ma'am, that he's man who says words in a very sentences in a very quantified manner. Until unless he evaluates, he won't say it. So let me tell you that, for example, in last 8 years, we have filed more than 400 patents. This year alone, we're going to file almost 700 patents new. We created an aircraft which has 30,000 parts and all of them designed here.
I thought that was the drone, and you were in the process of doing an aircraft. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
So, ma'am, I don't like to call these my machines as drone because that was a term coined by US. It's okay to call it drone, but that doesn't give me feeling as a scientist. I like to call my machine as
Aircraft.
like it is an aircraft. Means there is nothing which we are not doing, which is like we made the first 250 kilowatt aero engine of India. We have the facility which can create exact pressure what it would be at 18,000 feet. We have created new materials, which was unthinkable earlier in Indian context, using diffraction contrast tomography, transmission electron microscope, SEM, and lot of real science is happening here. It's not a production facility. It is a
Manufacturing.
manufacturing innovation facility. So this, what you see, ma'am, 7 lakh square feet built up area, it's a factory to innovate manufacturing processes, new materials, and of course, new products. What you see there, which will be 18 acres, that will be pure production facility,
Where you're going to manufacture aircraft.
aircrafts. And when I say aircraft, let me also tell you this. When I say aircraft, it is 15-meter long wingspan, which is almost what you fly from Delhi to Chandigarh, right? So that it's a 1.5 ton aircraft. So it can carry people. It's an aircraft. There's nothing less in it than only humans don't sit in it, but I can strap myself and fly in it.
So the aircraft which you will make is
It's already there.
it's already there.
Yeah.
But those are drones, which you don't want to say.
So drone, okay. If there is no human in aircraft, you call it drone.
Okay. So then why do you call yours aircraft? Because there is no human in your...
I don't like to copy, ma'am.
Which means what?
When you say drone, it creates a lot of confusion. So you can have this big drone, Shadi wala, and you can call my drone as also drone. It's a little painful if you call my drone as a drone, because it's not a drone what you see in the market or in the toy shop or something like that.
So what is the distinguishing feature of your drones and the aircraft which you are going to manufacture?
There are two categories of flying machines. One is multicopters, which has lot of propellers. Like helicopter, one blade, you have multicopters. That's why you see 4 blades running around. That's there. Then there is fixed wing, which requires runway or it goes up, right? So any of the flying objects will have the combination of these two or either of these, right? So when we make drones, which if you want to call, that will be multicopter, but they can lift 30 kilograms. They can go into enemy territory and you can put any jammer, any GPS jamming, whatever it is. It'll do its job and come back.
But you will penetrate.
Yeah.
Your vision from day one is to build a strong manufacturing capability in India, is what you told me, thus bringing down costs and making India self-reliant. Just tell me about this plan.
So my goal was very simple, that I really want to make sure that we don't import things which we can innovate ourselves. In order to do that, the clear path was to be able to design, innovate, design manufacturing processes, and then manufacture in India. I cry inside when my seniors, our PM or defense minister or anyone has to go and ask for these equipments from outside. So as a son of the country, इतना पढ़ने लिखने के बाद अगर ये भी नहीं किया, तो फिर we are not doing our job.
In terms of costs, you were that day giving me a breakup. In terms of costs, how much do we save? You were telling me when we import, this is the X amount. If we do it here, this is the amount we
So
save.
for example, if we are buying a male class UAV, it can cost Indian government anywhere from the very low end is 300 crores up. It can go up to 1,000 crore. We can give that in much fraction of cost. Nobody will beat our price, not even China. They can't produce cheaper than us.
You don't like the word drone, but would it be right to describe you or call you the rocket and drone man and someone who's now doing aircrafts?
Ma'am, I'm a science guy. I love mathematics. I love atoms. That is where I draw my inspiration from.
So, what should I describe you as? Not the drone man, definitely not. The rocket man, no, but though you did that in school, a prototype.
Yeah, but I never followed that. Because of that, I got definitely scholarship.
Okay, now your company's name. Why is it so difficult and complicated? Refi M Fiber, spelt absolutely differently, if I'm pronouncing it right. Why is it so complicated?
Ma'am, what happened was when we started the company, there was not a whole lot of work. So खाली दिमाग था, तो सारा दिमाग इसी में लग गया, इसलिए complicated हो गया. I agree, it's very complicated name. But now somehow it gives us this thing that वो complicated नाम वाली company. Now people call us this. There was a rationale for it. The Refi is union of two tissues in the body.
Okay.
So we wanted to do a union of technology and the user requirement. So that's where the name comes from, Refi. M stands for myelin. Myelin is a protein sheath in the brain which enhances your communication between two nodes. And fiber is fiber because we started with carbon fiber and materials. So we applied for FIBRE, but the registrar of companies rejected that name because of general thing. Then we, being free, we said, okay, we'll put Greek letter PHIBR. There's no logic to it, but then that's how it started.
और बहुत मुश्किल है उसको pronounce करना और spell करना. Because fiber is what I would say
हाँ, वो
FIBR.
लोग कुछ भी बोलते हैं मैम, राफे, रफी, एनीथिंग. बट ठीक है, अभी रेफी है, अभी वो थोड़ा ऐसा लगता है कि अच्छा ही नाम है.
थोड़ा भारी भरकम है.
मतलब हमें तो लगा था कि रेफी तो बहुत दो ही वर्ड का नाम है. बहुत लोगों ने सजेस्ट किया कि एम फाइबर हटा दो. ठीक है.
Tell me some specifics about your work and the world of drones and aircraft.
I can tell you a few things. For example, carbon fiber composites. So when you take an earlier aircraft, they were used.
Don't complicate it as much as your name of the company.
Yes, I won't complicate. So पहले क्या होता था that आप एयरक्राफ्ट बनते थे डिफरेंट मटेरियल से. फिर उसके बाद एल्यूमिनियम आए, एल्यूमिनियम के डिफरेंट ग्रेड्स आए, उसके बाद कार्बन फाइबर आए मैम. तो अभी कार्बन जो आप नॉर्मल अभी एयरक्राफ्ट बोइंग में चलते हैं उसमें अभी भी बहुत सारा एल्यूमिनियम लगा हुआ है. तो एल्यूमिनियम थोड़ा भारी होता है. अगर आप 1 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब लेंगे, मतलब 1 सेंटीमीटर बाई 1 सेंटीमीटर बाई 1 सेंटीमीटर, तो एल्यूमिनियम जो होता है वो 2.4 ग्राम्स के आसपास होता है. कार्बन फाइबर क्या होता है, वो भी उसी के आसपास होता है, 1.8 1.9, बट उसकी स्ट्रेंथ बहुत ज़्यादा होती है. तो उसकी वजह से वो मटेरियल फॉर चॉइस बन गया, राइट. तो आजकल एयरक्राफ्ट कार्बन फाइबर से बनने लगे. कार्बन फाइबर और रेजिन का कंपोजिट होता है. तो हमने उस पर बहुत सारा रिसर्च किया है एंड वी हैव क्रिएटेड लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ कंपोजिट्स, बिकॉज ऑफ विच our drones are much lighter and aerodynamic compared to other companies. Then what we did was there is something called as biomimetics, which is like drawing an inspiration from nature. So when you look our drones, it is not like there are 4 poles and you just put. If you talk about maglev trains, bullet trains in Japan, they have a very long beak because that this, and they drew inspiration from penguin. It travels so fast that when it used to enter the tunnel, it will have sonic boom, means shock, बहुत तेज आवाज आती थी, बट वो बीक के कारण कम हो गई आवाज. ऐसे बहुत सारी चीजें हम बनाते हैं, डिजाइन करते हैं, उसको पैटर्न भी करते हैं, जिससे हमारे ड्रोन्स वो कर पा रहे हैं जो बाकी ड्रोन्स नहीं कर पाते.
Give me an example.
जैसे अभी आपको बताया कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल जो हमारा एक ड्रोन है सिर्फ 10 किलोग्राम का है, लेकिन वो 10 केजी का सामान उठा लेता है. अगर आप चाइना से भी कोई ड्रोन खरीदेंगे जिसको 10 केजी का उठाना है, तो कम से कम 40-50 किलो का होगा. उसको उठाना मुश्किल होगा, कैरी करना डिफिकल्ट होगा. उसके बाद हमारे इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स पे हमने काफ़ी रिसर्च किया, उसमें बहुत सारा रियल एआई डाला हुआ है। तो बिकॉज हम अपने फोर्सेस के साथ बहुत काम करते हैं, तो हमारे पास बहुत ज़्यादा डेटा बैंक है कि हमारा ये सेक्टर कैसा दिखता है, वो सेक्टर कैसे दिखता है, ऊपर से कैसे दिखता है, यहाँ पे लोग कैसे हैं, किस तरीके के इंस्टॉलेशंस हैं, उन पर मैथमेटिकल मॉडलिंग करने के बाद हमारा सॉफ्टवेयर रेडी हुआ। एंड देन दैट सॉफ्टवेयर इज एक्चुअली कैन नो a difference between friend and enemy.
Just explain this.
So, for example, let's suppose you're moving in the territory, which is something called as, let's suppose, hinterland. Now, it could be your forces, it could be the terrorists, but this will be able to identify, and it can go in swarms of 50 and do lot of things, right? And any kind of jamming, anti-spoofing
Will not prevent.
will not prevent it.
Is this similar to the AI-enabled swarms we were talking about?
Yes, it is similar to AI-enabled swarms. So, ma'am, these days AI is a very commonly used word. Actually, last year only, me and my younger brother, who is the CEO of the company, Vivek Mishra, we actually created a team of mathematicians. Now we have about 60 mathematicians working with us now, and next 1 year we are going to hire another 300 mathematicians here. So we developed our own algorithm to be able to make a sensible data out of the data bank we have. Otherwise, we would have to take our data, give it to the American large language model or video language model, compromising the sanctity of our data. So we had to write our own algorithm to do a lot of things like that.
You know, this bit about distinguishing a friend from an enemy sounds a little theoretical to me. And when you say you can use the drone or your machine, to use a more respectable word, would say that this is a terrorist and this is a friend. I don't understand this.
I think I may have miscommunicated a little bit there, so I'll further clarify. Ma'am, in hinterland, civilians are not allowed. So there is no possibility. If you're in hinterland, you have to be either us or them, right? So when we are us, we are already dressed. We know where our people are there and stuff like that. So it is not that it will go into some mela and identify who is my enemy. It is at the place where the possibility of other humans
Is
are
not there.
not there. The only two kind of people can exist. That's why it's a binary, friends or foe. Ya to tum mere ho ya nahi ho. That's how it is happening.
And that your drone can distinguish by the data which is fed in.
Yes.
Okay. What is the USP of your drones and how are they different from what is existing and from what the others are doing?
The USP is in the RAFI is that we have spent countless hours with the forces, be it Navy, Army, other intelligence forces and stuff like that, to understand their requirement and what they actually need. We don't make a product and tell that, please take my drone. We never do that. We understand the problem and we develop the solution very specifically for the problem forces are facing. For example, you have a boat which wants to patrol your guard, right? Now, the boat is like really flimsy and it will just do all these kind of different kind of motion. The drone which you want to operate from the ground needs a stable platform, right? However, that drone will not automatically work in that boat. So we had to go do the experiments, understand, and then we created a drone which you can take off from the boat very easily. But it had to be entirely different drone. So it's not like retrofitting. We don't do jugaad. We don't do frugal engineering. I hate word jugaad and frugal engineering. We go deep into the science, make mathematical models, do the experiments, validate our experiments through simulations and all these things, and then we create our product. The other example I would tell you that the drone which you fly here, when you fly at 18,000 feet, it will just not take off because air density here is about 1 atmospheric pressure. There it goes up to 18,000 feet, it will be roughly around 0.67 or somewhere around 0.7, right? Where you feel really heavy to breathe and it is difficult, right? Same happens with the drone because these are propellers. There is less air to push. So if there is less air to push, there is less power. So the same drone will not work here. So we went there. We were there in the Siachen Glacier for a long, long time, ran propellers, understood. And like, for example, your rubber, this will break there.
Yeah.
So you will have to create a different material. But we don't want to buy from outside. The moment you buy from outside, your cost will go up. So if you buy from different places and then you assemble, you can never create a product which is cheaper than other people or better than other people. So that is what our USP is. To summarize, ma'am, that we interact very heavily with the user, understand their requirement, and then we create solutions for them.
So it is not making a product and giving it.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No, that's a bad philosophy, ma'am. We are not a typical businessman. I don't give a damn about इस साल का revenue क्या था, उस साल का revenue क्या था.
Yet you're making a lot of money.
But everything is going here. Me personally, I don't have any account. I don't make any money. I don't take any salary. Nothing. Not even 50,000 rupees will be there in my bank account. My expenses are paid by the company. I'm well fed and everything. मुझे लड्डू मिल जाता है, खाना मिल जाता है, बहुत अच्छा है. और जो भी चाहिए वो हो जाता है. But we are not working for money.
Treading personal ground. How and why did the fascination begin?
Ma'am, fascination was there only for atoms. When I read about atoms in class 7th, I could not believe that something inside this static object, something is moving. So I used to grind everything
You used to break everything as a child into small pieces, whatever you saw.
to see whether I can see atom or not. But finally, I saw atom in 2013. That is where everything started. I never stopped before that. So it started, the journey started in, I think, 1999 or something like that. 99 or something. And it's ended in 2013.
So tell me about all those years, where it started.
I did my 12th in 2004. My father was a dumper operator in Northern Coalfields Limited. From there, lot of things happened, man. Lot of things happened. But I used to tutor students, do my experiment in the afternoon and read in the morning. Somehow I didn't wanted to study in India because
Why? You were so passionate about make in India, produce in India,
I was not
manufacture
passionate
in
then at all about anything about India. My India fascination only started after 2013. Before that, I had no concept. I was only a science guy. I don't recall those kind of feelings when I was growing up. I only used to love atoms, and that was the only thing in my mind, nothing else.
So atom से love या fascination कैसे शुरू हुआ?
The science used to fascinate me, and now also, like 80% of my time, it's about my. I get up, I do my maths, I do my formulation, and then design my experiments. So 80% of my time, I don't deal with the company's stuff. It's only the science and experiment.
So 2013, the Love India, Love My India began. Tell me about that. How did that happen?
First time saw the atom in transmission electron microscope, and then I wrote a paper. At that time, I was at MIT, and I mean, then I was like, then what, kind of thing. In US, there is one profound thing happens there when you're a student. Wherever there is a Indian food, either through in the family some Indian family event, or it is happening Durga Puja or some whatever is happening, I would go because you get Indian food, right? There is one person who has a deep impact in my life, Kirti Vasan Ramachandran. He was my mentor, and he used to talk a lot about India. He used to talk a lot about, he was in Hindu Swayam Sevak Sangh, and they used to make a lot of good food. They will talk a huge amount of things that India should happen this way, because I never knew Indian history. And then Dr. R. Chidambaram. So whenever he used to come to US, he will meet me. Whenever I used to come to India, I'll meet with him. He will tell me the stories and stuff. So it was definitely brewing up. I was patriotic by nature, but the goal of my life started shaping after meeting the PM and a lot of things like that.
So the love for India started in California with Indian food
Yeah.
and then went on to discuss India. And then when you came and met the PM, is that how the trajectory was?
Yeah, I mean, it's all, it has been shaping up. Then we met with a lot of government protagonists. We understood that, oh, we are facing this problem, we are facing that problem also, we are facing this
So
problem
tell me
also.
about meeting the PM.
I mean, it's pretty encouraging, right? You meet with the head of the family. That's all I can talk about.
But did your spark begin after that meeting?
It was definitely a catalyst. I'm now very passionate about the country. It was an evolution, ma'am.
How did the breakthrough with the government come and this government connect, so to speak, and then your work with the government?
Because I got government scholarship to study abroad, ma'am, so I was always connected with Dr. R. Chidambaram. And because he was principal scientific advisor, that's how the connection came in.
And then working with the government?
All the projects which we do is for the government. We are putting our best effort to make sure that India actually becomes the best in manufacturing these aircrafts.
Let me take you back to your roots. Your grandfather was a man of modest means. Your father was a driver. You yourself started off as a bouncer.
My father was a truck driver. My grandfather was a farmer. So that village is about 70 kilometers away from the Allahabad. हमारे यहाँ electricity 2013 में आई है. We used to spend a lot of time in Singrauli. Used to come to the village. See, lot of my cousins, all of them went to Mumbai. See, in UP, in that area, after 12th, you have two choices: do B.Ed or go do watchman into Mumbai.
Or do watchman in Mumbai.
That is almost every cousin. My cousin was watchman in Mumbai.
Okay.
Now they are working here. My goal was nothing but to explore atoms. I went crazy. They took me to Manshik Rog Visheshagya in BHU, that ki isko kya ho gaya. For few days, I also did things like that, but I made sure that I don't go that route. So I started in teaching kids, young kids, tuition, so that I can earn money and do my experiments. So then I used to write to everybody in India.
So we'll come to that. We'll come to your 300 mails that you wrote. But let me ask you, then you started off as a bouncer or a watchman. What were the years of struggle?
I don't want to make it like a sad story and stuff like that, but I had struggles and all, fair bit of struggle. But the major thing was that I got because at that time, there was nothing I was deciding. There was nothing I knew that I want to do this. There was no thoughts like that.
So life as a watchman, from there to reaching where you have, what are the lessons learned?
So I enjoy my life for sure. After 1 year of tutoring and stuff like that, I was very clear that I don't want to study in India because I was very fascinated by American professors. There were a lot of struggles in able to get admission in US and then funding for that.
Yeah, we'll come to all that. But you also ran away from home.
Everyone runs away from home there. There is nobody who stays in home. Everyone runs away because they don't want to do B.Ed or something. I wanted to run away because I didn't want to do a B.Ed, of course, any of those things. So it means, at that time, should I call my father that I want to become a scientist of atoms and all? You will be slapped. At that time, everyone wanted to become engineer, right? I didn't wanted to do that without knowing what I want to do.
Okay. You also shot off 300 mails to people who mattered, including Dr. R. Chidambaram, because you wanted to seek an audience. Just tell me about that. And you wrote to everyone who mattered, I am a good boy, I want to study and I need money.
That's what you say. My English was a little compromised that time. So I will say that kind of things. After patent, right, I went to a couple of banks.
You went to the Reserve Bank of India for a loan?
Towards the end. Went to the bank and they said, you need collateral. And that's the first time I heard collateral. So you start with, I'm a good boy. I didn't know it means a little bit different. Now I understand the context. But anyways, what used to happen, ma'am, after patents, I think we will write to everybody, Prime Minister, President, ISRO Chief, PRL, every university's chancellor that I want to study somewhere. I want to have this scholarship and stuff like that. So I'll every day in the morning I'll write. Every day in the morning I'll go to the grievances offices. Some grievances offices were in Rail Bhavan, some were in this thing. Then there were a sabha of other politicians also. I used to go. So I used to go to this darbar. Right at that time there was different places. Right. You go and with your आचका किसी का हाथ टूटा है, किसी को बेटी की शादी होनी है, किसी को कैंसर हुआ है और मेरे को पढ़ाई के लिए लोन चाहिए, तो इस तरीके से जाते थे ग्रीवेंसेस में. उस दिन भी डॉक्टर आर चिदम्बरम के ऑफिस से नीरज सिन्हा सर का मेल आया था कि कम एंड टॉक टू मी. मैंने कम से कम 100-200 ईमेल किए होंगे. काम यही था मेरा, सुबह उठ के ईमेल, क्या I'm a good boy.
And that was on a Tuesday when you believe and are a believer of Hanuman.
What I like to believe in is like luck, which is labor under correct knowledge. So I think I've been doing a lot of hard work. That when you're doing hard work with good intention and purity, I think things do happen. It's not a major philosophy, but I have experienced it multiple times in my life.
That you are a believer of Hanuman.
Yes, when if you see Hanumanji, I get this thing. So that's a thing which I have got from family, and my grandfather was a firm, so he.
Because in your room you've got Dr. Chidambaram's photograph and you have Hanuman's.
And
I
my
don't know if it is
grandfather.
and your grandfather. So I don't know if it is in that order, but that's how it is.
It's not in order, but those are my people to.
Who you look up to.
I mean, I love them a lot. Like I love my grandfather.
Tell me about Dr. Abdul Kalam.
Yeah, so Dr. R. Chidambaram introduced me to Dr. Kalam, and I met with him PRL Ahmedabad, because after meeting Dr. R. Chidambaram, he sent me multiple places to go and show my work to different places, ISRO and this and that. So I went there and showed them. In that, I met with Dr. Kalam, and then we were talking about air-breathing missiles at that time. So we started having conversation whenever he used to come to US before we lost him. We met him. I think he just stepped out of being president. Some 10 Rajaji Marg he used to live. So I used to go to his home after Dr. Chidambaram's intervention. So they used to like me because I was just like a boy who was talking about
A good boy
beta.
who wanted to study.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's just all
So
these
going
things.
abroad and the scholarship, how did that happen?
So Dr. R. Chidambaram and Dr. Kalam spoke with then PM. I think this happens. A cabinet committee actually approved my scholarship. So it was Dr. T. Ramaswamy who used to be secretary. So they gave me the scholarship. What they did and how they did, I don't know.
And
because
after that, there's been no looking back.
there was no looking back.
And then you financed your brother's education.
Yeah, partly.
You know, for the last 8 years, you've been living in your office 24/7. And last time when I came in, I asked your staff where you are, and they told me he must be inside one machine or another. So just tell me about your life and about living in an office and for 8 years.
So, ma'am, I never think that way that I have to live in office. What happens is I craft my brain. So tomorrow, let's suppose I'll decide in the night what all information I need to take in the day. So that's why I don't interact with any human until unless I have to. I have no कि आज घर में पानी है कि नहीं, ये हुआ कि नहीं, कुछ किया कि नहीं. I have no zero information कि चाची की तबीयत खराब है या ये हुआ है, वैसा हुआ है, कुछ. I have zero information. It helps me to take input as I require and process as I require. That's about it.
But how about living in the office 24/7? And for 8 years?
But what would I do? Where will I go? What will I do? I have no agenda in my life. I have zero agenda.
But you would want to go home, you would want to spend time with your parents, with your mother.
Oh, they come, they bring gajar ka halwa. She got gajar ka halwa today. That's about it.
Okay, let me put this differently before I wrap up. At 39, what are your plans for your personal life? marriage, family?
I have family, mom, dad, my younger brother, my sister. I love them.
But ultimately, the next time I interview you, or in 2030, by the time your aeroplane and all is done, you will still be staying here?
These things I don't decide. If you ask me in the morning, what is your things? Today, for example, I have to do the balancing of my shaft, which goes inside a two-stroke engine. That's all I think about. I don't think about what to eat, what not to eat, where to go, what not. I don't think. If I have a meeting in Delhi for something, then that is a different thing. Other than that, my agendas are fixed, like working.
So let me change this definition from your being a drone and rocket man to your being a walking and talking machine.
You can say
Which one do you prefer?
it's your wish. I don't want. No preference. We just want to make sure that we do a good job, and we do the way our forces are giving their life, every bit of it. We want to give all our life to innovate for them so that they have the best product. It pains our heart if we can't give them the best product. We want to give them the product which is better in the battlefield than other person. We want to make sure that the probability of them defeating them is much higher because they have this product.
On that positive note, Vikash Mishra, thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you.